What's going on, everybody? Welcome back here to another live stream. We're talking crypto today, of course. Crypto really this month. And are we going to get a sell-off this September, which has historically been bound to happen that way? How do we plan ahead? Which cryptos are we buying? Of course, I actually just sent a message out to my Patreon members that I was stacking some more cryptos, and we'll get into some of those plays that I'm making here because I think this is the calm before the storm here. September, historically, not a great month for stocks, not a great month for crypto, but what follows historically after September are some of the best months for crypto and the stock market. That is October and November. That is really where a lot of people have made their bread in both those markets. So appreciate everybody being here. We have to start the Crypto Breakfast Club too. If you guys aren't familiar with how this works, usually I do go live a little bit before and hang out with you guys here on X and YouTube, and then we go live with our X space, which is, as you can see up here on screen. You guys can stay right here and listen in live. Obviously, it's a 2-hour show, 9:30 to 11:30. If you guys are coming in here on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button, consider subscribing, ring the notification bell so you know when we go live. Had a bunch of things to get to this morning. Otherwise, I would have went a little earlier, but we always live stream these X spaces, and it's great because we get to hear from a lot of different voices and different opinions and things like that, and I just love bouncing different ideas off of people. So as soon as we start this thing up, I'm going to get into some of the things that I was buying, and I'm always watching the comments here on YouTube and X as well, so make sure you guys drop your comments in here. If you guys are listening to the space and have some things to say, let me know in the comment section, and I'll read that off in the actual space as well. And of course, if you want to ask your question in real time, come join us over on the X page. Make sure you guys are following me on X regardless, at @Z_Humphries over here. We're growing really nicely, actually. Actually, in August, I grew by over 5,000 new followers on X, only 3,000 new subscribers on YouTube. So X is a growing platform. I'm really trying to build it out. So if you guys haven't gave me a follow over there, would really appreciate that. I think it's going to become even more ingrained into the finance industry and business and entrepreneurship and crypto, especially with Elon really focusing in on video content now. So I'm posting a lot of my videos, pretty much all of them now, over here on X as well. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start up the space because we're already a few minutes late. I wanted to set the stage with you guys here on the live stream. So we'll go ahead and fire up the space and get this thing rocking and rolling. So again, happy to have everybody here with us. And again, if you got questions, drop them in there in the comment section, and hopefully you guys enjoy the show here. Crypto Breakfast Club every Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern up until 11:30. Again, 5 days a week. So let's see who we get in here to join us. All right, we're getting our co-hosts in here. Very nice. What's happening, everybody? Share the room. I'll be right back. Make sure you guys get this thing flowing here. Let's get a bunch of people in here. We got the live stream going, people on X and YouTube. Should be a great show, talking about some things that we're looking at in the markets, what we're buying here. I'm taking some stabs here at buying some dips late last night and into this morning. I think this is a really good opportunity. I'll get into some of the things I'm buying. You guys can say if I'm crazy or not. Or what, but all right, we'll get there in just a second. I'm just setting some things up here on the back end. Make sure you guys share the room, share the space. Would appreciate that greatly. And if you're over on YouTube or X, if you could give us a retweet there on either one of the live streams, definitely would help us out there as well. There's Zach. Let me bring him up as co-host here too. Let's get it, man. Let's get it, guys. I'm definitely on a buying spree late last night and today. I'm on a buying spree. I've deployed some capital, so here we go. I'll get into it here in a few. Oh, now the music's gone, huh? All right, screw it. We'll start it. All right, let's get into it. Zach, what's going on? Paid, what's going on? What's happening, guys?
Watching the market tumble.
Yep.
That's what I'm doing. I'm got money on the side waiting. I think it's going to dip a little bit more.
Yep.
Before we see a huge push to the upside. Just waiting. So yeah, I think we could see at least 54. Conservatively, 54. By maybe the end of September, even maybe a little bit lower, and then we'll see a huge push. That's when the dip will be eaten completely.
So I'm dollar cost averaging Zach here too. I'm with you. I buy a little bit of Bitcoin every day. Early this morning though, I added a nice chunk and bought like another 3,000 on top of my daily buy. I'll tell you guys this too. I bought some more BitTensor Tau. So I'm always trying to find some of the cryptos that are down the most. BitTensor is a top 40 crypto, by the way. It's number 40 ranked. It's one of the top AI plays. $1.8 billion market cap. Down 7.33%, but down 20% on the week. Take a look at that chart. Zoom out in the last year, Zach. Take a look at the BitTensor Tau chart and just see where we are and where we were back in March. And
what's the ticker?
The ticker's Tau, T-A-O. Tell me that doesn't look like a juicy chart when you go to the alt chart there. And there's a chance we can come down even more, but I'm starting to DCA into some of my favorite AI plays, and I don't have a lot of Tau. I've got a pretty good position. I got this.
Like dollar cost average, get all this stuff, and then I just bought.
Why are you whispering, dude?
Dude, I'm on a train in France. I told you that. Yeah, so I can't be like loud. If it wasn't, I have to whisper.
Dude, that's like such a different paid XPO. Vibe.
It's creepy.
Yeah, it's really
creepy.
weird.
Yeah.
It's such a different paid XPO vibe. I'm not used to this.
Yeah, I'm on a train right now. But listen, Bitcoin's going to 40K. I'm telling you right now, mark my words, 40K within the next 3 weeks. I'm bearish right now. This doesn't look good at all. And there's music playing on the train now.
Yeah, I agree with you, Paige. That's why I'm not DCAing right now. I'm just waiting. Why?
Okay, but let me ask you this. Why is it going to 40K?
Because stock market's crashing. Everyone's taking their money out. Warren Buffett dumping stocks of Bank of America. They obviously know something we don't know, so I'm following that a little bit, the big dogs. And when they're pulling out, I'm just waiting. I will wait for it to go down, and then I'll just buy. A couple weeks. That's it. That's exactly, because I also follow the stock market closely, quietly. Even when I'm, doing crypto, I really watch the stock market and see where it's going. And that kind of scared me a little bit when I saw that, he was dumping the Bank of America stocks. So he may have an indication that things might be crashing. And if stock market crashes, crypto goes with it also. So I'm just waiting, really. I mean, even if I miss a position, a little bit here and there, not a big deal. But for me, if I have a feeling it's going to go down, why spend the money? Why not just wait a little bit? I'm patient enough. But you're doing the right thing, Zach. I mean, no one can predict the future. So,
and that's why I'm just kind of slowly DCAing. Like I don't like to bulk buy necessarily unless it's like we're like solidified in a bear market. You know what I mean? Like unless like back in 2022 when everybody knew like, oh my gosh, like when Cardano was trading at 25 cents for months and months and months paid. I know you remember that. Like, okay, you can accumulate it now. Like, you know what I mean? Like you go, okay, yeah, I finally, got some change in my pocket, time to bulk buy or whatever. You know what I mean? But like during these times where it's kind of these weird, like in between stages, I never like to bulk buy. I'm all about DCAing. I'm all about because you never know. It could reverse to the upside. You just never know.
Yeah, real quick. Rob from Digital Asset News.
Yeah.
Posted a post yesterday about like how the markets were a year ago, and the Cardano was at like $1.75. I was like, why would you post this and just hurt me?
Wait, Cardano was at $1.75 a year ago?
Not a year ago. I mean, last cycle.
Oh, like this time, September.
Yeah.
But if you look at the chart for 2020, right around this time was when it started like kind of flattening out a little bit. I really think it's going to push to the upside about mid this month. So I am waiting a couple weeks. And then right after that, if you look at the old, 2020 charts, things started moving right around, mid-September, the end of October. That's when we saw the start of the bull run. So for me, I think these couple weeks will be bearish. I don't think the interest rates are going to move it that much. After looking at the stock market and everything, doing my due diligence, I'm waiting about maybe September, mid-month, September 15th, 16th. And then I'll probably ape in right before that time, about mid-month, and then just wait. And I think it'll go up. Me personally.
Do you wait? Do you wait until you see what they do with the rates? Because the rate cuts are going to be right around. Don't quote me on this. The 17th, I think it is, or 18th, right in there.
Correct.
Here it is. I got it. 17th and 18th. So they'll make the decision on the 18th.
Right. So my plan is to dump some money in around the 15th.
Gotcha.
Right before that. So I really feel like it's going to go down still the next couple weeks. So I'm just waiting it out a little bit. If I miss it, I miss it. No big deal. But the sentiment around the market and stuff is not looking good right now. So for me, DCAing right now is not a good idea. Just waiting and making some play on some meme coins in the meantime.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I buy Bitcoin every day regardless. And I just bought a little bit more today than I normally would. I'm comfortable with that. The BitTensor Tau, play for me is, again, I'm not deploying. I could have deployed more, right? I'll be a little bit patient there. I'll deploy a little bit slowly. And then I also bought a little bit more Brett. I opened up a new position in Brett. And knowingly here, Brett can probably fall back down to mid 500 mil, give or take. But I mean, take a look at the Brett chart on the 1 day. It's come down pretty significantly on some crucial levels here. There's a chance it could come down a little bit more, but I like picking up Brett here. I picked it up at like the 6.3 level. We're already back up to 6.8 right now.
I'm looking at the chart right now. It looks like some lower highs. So yeah, I think it could retrace down a little bit more on the day. Although this is a great opportunity by the RSI is about 34.64. So that's usually when I get around about 20 to 30 is when I'll get in. So this is perfect opportunity and sell around about 75, 80. So this is a great buying opportunity at the moment, not financial advice, but if you're into the indicators, that's what it's telling me.
Yeah, and I didn't go like all in there either. Just a nice little chunk buy, and it was a different position because I bought Brett the first time at 100 mil, and I've been taking profits out of that position all the way up to almost, $2 billion there, and still have a really strong position. But that's one thing I know, Zach, you do too. I opened up multiple positions in the same play. You know what I mean? I'm not afraid. I like that more so than opening it up all in one, because I don't like to ruin my average cost, especially like I got in bread at the first time at 100 mil, and I like to keep that as my long. And then obviously I'm watching the chart and I understand kind of how this thing moves, and then I open up other positions that are just mostly tradable positions. So like I'm looking at this as like, hey, this is a double up opportunity, getting this right around 600 mil. And then if we pop back up to like that little over $1 billion mark, I'll just trade out of that fully, and then I still have my long-term bag. That's another thing, like people are like, oh, you have to either invest or trade. I'll invest and trade the same asset. I'll invest in the asset longer term, but also trade the hell out of it short term. That's just me personally. And
I get the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, especially once you get familiar with how the chart moves, and you get confident with, how that thing is moving. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you should want to open up multiple positions because you have more confidence in kind of where that thing's going rather than something brand new that you really don't know a whole hell of a lot about. That's just my 2 cents. But Shelby, go ahead. She's on the Crypto Breakfast Club Twitter account, guys. Make sure you follow there. We're almost at 1,000 people on the Breakfast Club account. So we'd love to get there by the end of the week. Let's push this thing up. Also, real quick before Shelby jumps in, I'm in talks with a couple companies about becoming sponsors of the channel on a monthly basis. So we're kind of shifting our focus away from maybe Shark Tank right now and having monthly sponsors. So if you're a company token and you want to be a monthly sponsor of our Breakfast Club, we'd love to have you. We get great traffic on X and YouTube, and we'll be able to shout you guys out and tweet about you on a monthly basis. So if you're interested in that, we got some great things cooking there. I'm in talks with a few companies right now too, but let's go to Shelby, and then we'll go to Andrew, and then I think KDX had their hand up too. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Hey guys. So Zach from Subway, this goes to you. This is in from someone that has probably listened to you in the past year or so. Can you explain how you use the 4-hour chart as an indicator on what the day will do for your trades?
Well, I won't take up too much time, but yes, I do use it. What I've learned from trading a lot is the 4-hour indicator chart basically gives me the overall concept of that day. So fast trading wise, the day chart I'll use for like the 2-day, 3-day period, but I can tell by the buys and sells, the ratio, what's going to happen usually, unless there's some dramatic change in alpha or something. Remember, it's just a guide to making some decisions, but yeah, I'll put on a few indicators. I really do want to get Zach's indicator and work with that a little bit and see how that, compares to some of the other ones. But, you can do this. You can do the MA, moving average, the oscillating one, and the RSI. If you get those 3 down, you can kind of indicate what will happen that day. So it really depends on how fast you want to do trading. So I found out for myself that the 4-hour chart works very well for day trading. Doesn't work for week and stuff like that, but it can give you a good indication on making some profits that day.
Dude, I didn't give you my access to my indicator yet.
Of course not. You're busy, man. It's okay.
All right, I just wrote a note down. I want to get you access to that because I honestly really want your feedback on it too. As a trader like yourself, I really want your feedback on it. I'll get that to you. I'll get you a discount code, and then you could test it. And then if you love it, just whatever you like about it. I really want your feedback. So I'll get that to you.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm crazy busy anyways at the moment, but once my hotel closes, I'll deep dive into it, and I'll love to use it. I mean, it seems to be doing very well. I mean, if it's a bunch of, indicators wrapped into one, that might be easier than what I'm doing too. But yeah, I'd love to check it out and roll with it and give you some feedback.
Hell yeah, dude. Let's get up to Andrew. What's up, man? Good morning to you.
Good morning, Zach. Good to see you, dog. How you doing?
Doing great. Oh, doing great, brother. Sorry, I muted myself. Yeah, doing good, man. Can't complain. How about yourself?
Oh, doing great, doing great. Check your DMs when you get a chance. I sent you some questions, asked about the sponsorship. Might know somebody interested. But man, it's a fun time. I'm not gonna BS, man. I love the pain. I especially love crypto Twitter panicking, just because you can usually know if you're counter trading crypto Twitter, you're being okay. And I don't know, man. I saw a lot of panic yesterday. I'm personally not firing yet. I think there's a little more pain incoming. You know, I got some fib lines. I mostly trade Solana. I'm like you, man. Like I'm a Bitcoin maxi at heart. You know, like I don't buy Bitcoin every day. I buy during the dips, and I just buy bigger, you know, during the dips. I'm personally a buyer on Bitcoin for anything below 70K, right? I think we have at least 140K, you know, coming this cycle. So I don't feel bad as, you know, that my savings account. No, that being said, if you don't have any Bitcoin, you should probably just buy some Bitcoin regardless of the price, just to get some skin in the game. But that's my personal strategy. No, I'm still going to die on this hill for this month that we're actually going to, you know, counter trade historical trends. And September is going to finish positive for Bitcoin. I just think there's too much macro bullish sentiment for the market right now. And I think this is similar to what we saw in the 2016, 2017 Septembers, to where there was a different type of mainstream adoption to prior markets. And, you know, this one has the same thing, right? The prior bull market, you know, the last time around, we didn't have governments buying Bitcoin. You know, we didn't have El Salvador buying, they said they were buying one Bitcoin a day. It turned out they were buying more. So we didn't have El Salvador doing this. We didn't have them laying the bullprint that we know the world is a monkey see, monkey do place. So like, once other countries that are in that similar economic situation as El Salvador see true success from El Salvador's Bitcoin experiment, they're going to ape in. Now, whether they win or lose with it by the top, who knows? But like, they're going to ape in. So like, that's a different type of mainstream level we have going on. We have U.S. presidential candidates about to debate on crypto and what they're going to do with it. We've never seen shit like that before. Like, that's what's heating up with this type of mainstream activity. So like, I'm going to die on this hill. I'm willing to look dumb at the end of the month, but like, when I think the bottom's there, I'm firing hard. You know, I don't think you're wrong, DCA and Zach. I think that's a safe strategy. But I'm going to trust my gut here and try to get this bottom and try to ride. You never get the exact bottom. Right? Try to get close to the bottom. And I'm going to ride it up for the month. And I like what you said, too. And I don't want to hog too much mic time here. But I love what you said about people like, oh, you got to be a trader or an investor. And I think that's BS, man. You know, that's why I always tell people, get some skin in the game. You know, like, I remember when I first really started getting comfortable trading my holdings, I was on BNB last cycle, and I was farming banana tokens on ApeSwap, and I'm just looking at how obvious this chart is, and my boy that, you know, he's like, no, man, you got to follow, you know, time in the market. And I'm like, dude, I know that when it gets to $1.60 or whatever the number is, it's going to float back to $1 and most likely find support, so why wouldn't I increase my bag? So I stick with that scalping strategy with my spot holdings. Man, I have no problem dumping my spot bag or 50% of it and looking to buy the dip. So, man, I love what you're teaching here today, man. Thank you. Thanks a lot, bro.
Love that, man. No, love the insight. Yeah, you know, I think here's the thing, really what it is, right? You got to be real with yourself and say, hey, are you an active investor or are you a passive investor? Because there's a lot of people who like don't check in every day and they get into these meme coins and they, you know, go away for 3 days and they wonder what happened. And they're like, oh, dude, what's going on? My holdings just went. Well, yeah, you can't leave a freaking meme coin that just launched, you know, 2 days ago. You can't leave it for 2 minutes, let alone 2 days. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of misunderstanding there, I think. And so if you're going to be an active investor, you're going to be in it every single day. Okay. But if not, then there's a strategy for you on the other side of it. You know what I mean? Don't get into meme coins as much. Get into more blue chips. DCA your way to victory. There's multiple ways to skin a cat. You just got to be real with, you know, what you're going to be, how much time you actually have to allocate. You know what I mean? And all of that. So, but I think if you're like us, you know, Andrew, like, you know, Zach, myself, you, and many people on this call, we're in it every single day. why not play the long game, but also trade in the short term? Why not do both? I mean, we're already in this thing every single day, right? It just, that to me makes the most sense. KDX, I think you were up, and then your corp, I see your hand up there too. KDX, what's going on, man? Good morning.
Hey guys, good morning. I just wanted to bring this conversation back to your first bill, BitTensor Tau. Yeah, and I'm glad you guys said something about just about, you know, having a long-term bag and then short-term bag, because BitTensor is definitely a long-term bag. Yeah, it might dip down to, you know, 200, 225 if you look at the weekly right now. But BitTensor, man, I've been in BitTensor since it was $8. I was buying and selling it OTC when it was just tradable via Bitcoin on some shitty marketplace that they created. So, dude, BitTensor is the real deal. Like, they're the first open source, decentralized blockchain for artificial intelligence. Which is huge right now, especially with all this censorship stuff going on in the world. Because the problem with OpenAI and ChatGPT and all these other, you know, even Gronk sometimes is, you know, it'll censor things. So if you ask it, you know, is Trump going to win the election or whatever, it'll say, oh, I can't respond to these type of political statements. So BitTensor solves that issue. It's non-censor, it's censor proof because it's ran by miners. It's proof of work. I mean, dude, this project is going to go way higher than 200. So yeah, grab a bag of that and just hold on to that. Yeah, definitely trade it when it's ranging. But dude, I'm glad you shilled Tau, because that's another one of my big bags besides Cass.
Love it, bro. Yeah, I was a little late. Congrats on getting in there early as hell. That's awesome. That's what's up. I was a little late, but I feel like I'm still kind of early here. But yeah, you nailed it. I mean, this whole idea of decentralized machine learning, I think, is just so necessary in this day and age, and where we're heading. So, I mean, I guess I'm partly biased just because I believe in that principle a lot too. But I think there's a lot there for sure. Your corp, I'm bringing you back up, bro. Looks like you had to drop down there for a second. Trying to get you back in here, brother. There you go. What's happening, man? Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Sorry about that. That's connection issue at the moment where I was. But good morning, Zach. I just got some few questions. I should have just put a question on. One of them is when it comes to, you said that you opened a new bag for bread and you didn't want to mess up your average cost on your main bag. Did you open that in another wallet, or did you just keep track of whenever you open it in the same wallet? Do you keep track like, okay, this day I bought it at this amount, and then you just, you know, kind of like control it that way? How do you do that?
Separate wallet for me. Separate wallet, just because otherwise it just gets so convoluted, and you don't know exactly where you're at unless you're keeping track of it like manually. But I'll just open it up. I opened up the new position in a different wallet, and then what I do is I go and jot that down. You know, so every wallet I have like a spreadsheet, so I jot that down, and then I put my plan like when I want to trade it out of that position. So like I'll have like for that wallet, you know, here's what I'm holding. And like most of the time I have like a wallet that's more long-term. I probably have like 20 wallets. So I have like probably 10 that are more like longer term, give or take, and 10 that are more like trading wallets. And as soon as I go buy Brett, like I did late last night at like the 6.3 level, I put in there my profit taking plan when I'm exiting fully out of that position. And again, that's just a trade.
Okay, I see how you do it. I kind of have done stuff like that, but I don't have as many
I think we're losing you, bro. But I got you. Yeah. Are you there? You back? You're cutting in and out a little bit, but yeah. Go ahead, your cord. Maybe you're back. Yeah. It's still cut for sure, bro. Yeah. That's just how I do it, guys. It's not the only way to do it. It just kind of makes sense in my brain. You know what I mean? Zach, I don't know if you're similar.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I have a spreadsheet. Now you made me think I need to develop an app for this on Telegram or something.
I'm sure there's stuff out there too, but I kind of like doing it manually. I kind of like, because you know what I mean? I kind of feel more part of the process. I like, you know what I mean? Like I kind of like going in there and like feeling
It's
it a
true.
little bit. You know what I mean?
It's true. If you're typing in the numbers and stuff, it's subliminally telling you your positions, and you know what I mean? Yeah, it's good mind power work. So I agree with you. I use a spreadsheet too. I got like 15 wallets. So I have to do the same thing or you get completely wrecked. You'll miss out on something.
For sure. I mean, here's another, I wanted to bring this up a little bit too, and I see Shelby's got her hands up. Actually, let's go to Shelby before I open up a new topic.
Yeah, and this might be another topic for another day. But a question that just came in is decentralized trade is decentralized actually sustainable in the future with government?
I think yes. I think the way to make this simple and possible is they just hit you on taxes on the way out. Let DeFi do what you want to do. It's kind of like the Wild Wild West, but as long as if the government just taxes you when you go to cash out, damn, it's right there, right on the blockchain.
So Zach, to that point, should a swap be taxed? So right now, that's a taxable event. Anytime you swap from one thing to the other. So, okay, I hop into Brett, I make $700, then I throw that into Bitcoin, and then I get out of that when it makes me another $700. And then I take that and put it in USDT and let it sit there. And then I take that and I get into Superverse and it makes me another 500. You see what I'm saying? Like, should that all be taxable every time I'm getting in and out of stuff? Or should it be once it gets into fiat, it's a total tax?
Yes.
Like, that's where it gets murky.
So for me, two different things. Yes, I think they should just tax you. Forget about the swaps. They should just tax you when you transfer into fiat, when you swap it. But when it comes to the DEXs, yes, they should be taxed. If they're charging a fee on the back end, yeah, they should. And they're a business, yeah, they should be taxed on that. They should be taxed on their profits.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, it feels like it could be simplified for sure. I don't know though. Can you get to a point where we're fully decentralized? I mean, is there such a thing?
No, I don't think so. No, because there's ways around everything. They should just hire me. I can simplify this easily. Basically, so let's bring up something like Uniswap, right? They are obviously legitimate. They have to provide their taxes at the end of the year. You know what I mean? So they can obviously they'll have the protocol on how much they made off of the swaps, and they just tax a percentage on that. So on the back end, if they're collecting fees, yeah, they should pay a tax just like we have to pay a tax on swapping. You know what I mean? But it can get really tricky because you can, even though you're DeFi, you can still track everything. When you're moving from even blockchain to blockchain or wallet to wallet, it's all traceable. That's why when these fucking scammers are like, they can never get me, it's easy to trace that stuff. Because at some point you do have to cash out of that money, and you can link all those wallets together. So, do you know what I mean? It's just because the regulation isn't there right now, and they don't really want to do the work that these scammers are getting away from it. But once they do that, they'll be able to trace all of that stuff. Everyone is KYC'd, really. It's just how deep do you want to get into it? You know what I mean? So everything is traceable. Jared from Subway is traceable. Everyone's traceable. But when it comes to regulation, they just need to keep it simple. Tax you when you convert it to fiat, and the swapping DEXs, even on the DeFi side, just hit you on the fees you charge at the end of the year. You know what I mean? Or quarterly, however they want to do it. They can easily find that out. They get their wallet. They'll see how much money they made. Boom, whatever percentage done. It's really that simple. They can treat this just like the fiat system, honestly, when it comes to taxes. It's not that complicated.
And actually, as you were speaking, if you're listening or if you're a listener who knows a CPA that is into crypto and could answer some questions, maybe DM us, get on here, and we can pick your brain a little bit. I think that would be really useful to our listeners.
Shelby, to that point, I just want to say something, and we'll get down to KDX. I think he's got something to say there regarding this question. I will say this. Be very selective when you're picking your CPA too. I went through like 3 or 4 different people, and this was all a plan. I strategically asked them, do you know what MetaMask is? And if somebody looked at me like I was speaking a foreign language, The answer is no, I'm not hiring you. And I found somebody who was deep in the weeds in crypto, understood decentralized finance, understood MetaMask. Like, we started having a conversation. I'm like, boom, you're hired, because it makes things a lot easier on your end than, just especially if you're somebody trading a lot, you know what I mean? Like, to that earlier point, if you're an active investor and you're trading all the time, you really want to make sure you're going with somebody who understands crypto, because there's a lot of CPAs. I would say 95% of them, they don't want anything to do with you if you interact with crypto right now. And a lot of them is just ignorance. They don't want to learn. You know what I mean? They just don't want to learn something new. They've been doing it their, one way forever, and it is what it is. But KDX, we'll go back down to you, and then your corp. I see your hand up too.
Yeah, to that point on the CPAs, and I just wanted to expand on that is, dude, I don't know if anybody has bought in a house from crypto, but it is the biggest pain in the fucking ass that you could ever imagine, because just wrangling all these tax forms is such a pain in the ass. But that being said, this is not financial advice, but I have never filed taxes on my crypto in about 5 years. Maybe they'll come at me, I don't know. But the thing is, I've never cashed out like super large sums of money before. And I don't think they're really trying to go for the small guys here. They might be trying to tax you on, little swaps here and there. But I mean, I don't know. So it's all still just like in the unknown for us. And I think it's in the unknown for them as well. Decentralized DeFi right now is not decentralized fully unless it's proof of work. Ethereum is not decentralized. Ethereum is a proof of stake owned by Coinbase and a couple other big conglomerates right now. Once they made that transition, it was literally like it was over for decentralization. That being said, there are private swaps, private DeFi projects coming out. I know there's forks of Monero that are trying to do DeFi on their chains. And in that case, it would be fully decentralized, fully private. And it, I mean, I don't see how they would be able to track any swaps on if something like that were to come out.
KDX, to that point, something I find interesting is I agree with you there. Like, Ethereum's move to proof of stake definitely changed the way things look in that regard in terms of, it not being decentralized. But then you get an Ethereum ETF. It's kind of like conflicting, like, right? It's like they're legitimizing Ethereum. So like, what does that mean for everything else? And I think that's what we're still waiting on, right? It's like, okay, so Ethereum's legit. It's quote unquote not a security, right? I mean, that's what I gather based on getting an ETF. So what does that mean for everything else? I mean, are they going to go through a process for all freaking 10,000 plus cryptos like they did? You know what I mean? Like, what's going to happen here? I mean, maybe we don't even have an answer, but I don't know. Just something to chew on. Let's go to your corp, and then we'll get back up to. I see Joe's up here, and then Andrew. Go ahead, your corp.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me now better than earlier?
Yeah, I got you, bro.
Awesome. I'm sorry about earlier. And I'm sorry if I didn't say good morning to everybody, but good morning. So I was just asking regarding that. Something that came up. Do you have a way, I'm not sure if you can share that spreadsheet or if you can sell it, a template, not like your whole spreadsheet. So like that I can kind of have like an idea how can I track mine too. I did one, but I feel like I'm missing so much information on mine that probably you might have a lot better, of course, because you got more knowledge. If that's something that you think you can, I'm not sure, share with us or like sell it, I don't mind buying. I really don't. So if you think that's possible, just let us know. And then Zach from Subway. I know that you have mentioned before that when your hotel closed, you do all the stuff. And all the stuff you have mentioned that is teaching pretty much on reading the charts and pretty much crypto, more into it, more detail. When will be, I don't want your hotel to close because of course that makes money for you, but you always have a way to make money. But when does that close? I'm kind of anxious to start doing that so like that I can join. And if you do it, where will you be posting it? Would it be in your YouTube? Would it be here in the Crypto Breakfast Club or everywhere?
You want me to answer that one? I guess the first part to that question. Oh, the first part. There's a few guys sell some spreadsheets, but they're more on the financial side of stuff. But you can find some really good ones with crypto on Etsy. Honestly, there's some really smart people on there. They made some great spreadsheets. There's a vast majority of them. You can just pick the ones you want. Some are very expensive. Some ones are cheap. Some go into detail. But just Google like crypto tracking spreadsheet or something on Etsy, and you'll find out tons of them. And then on the flip side of that, I do for my token Coyote, I do the 101 trading. So that would be within a separate Telegram I created for traders and stuff. I can get you more details on that, but basically what you do is buy a little bit of the chart, and then you basically burn the token so you can't sell it on the other investors. And we go over some trading stuff, and that's
I remember that. Definitely, I remember you have mentioned that. I just wanted to know, like, around what is the time frame that that will start being open, so like that I can be ready, because I really kind of anxious.
Yeah.
I know it's not kind of crazy, but
late October, early November, I can get
late
some
October.
stuff. But yeah.
Excellent. And then one last thing I got is that I know, Zach, you have asked for the feedback from Zach from Subway and regarding your STIAGO. I have already told you before, and I will definitely share with whoever haven't heard. And I'm not promoting it or anything. Zach doesn't pay me nothing to do this. I'm just saying, because of my experience, I have made good amount of money when I started to do the STIAGO. It's because it's so simple. Like it's so simple that you'd be like, oh, I thought it was more into this, but no, it's just really not. So that's the good thing about it. So whoever haven't really got into it, hey, go for it, because you will definitely make some money. It will help you when you're so busy. A lot of time, at least myself, that I'm working most of the time, or I'm with my kids, I put my alerts however I want to do my investment, and the alerts will just, hey, look at this. Hey, I'm looking at it. Oh, I got to do it now. While I'm busy with somebody else, I don't have to worry about, I got to be looking at the chart all the time. And then I waste time for my family, or waste time in my house, or waste time doing something else. And the STIAGO it just makes it easy, man. It just makes it real, real, real easy. So, yeah. My feedback is that it works real good. You will definitely make money, and anybody can use it because it's so simple. But that was pretty much it. I thank you for the information that you guys told me. And I hope everybody continue having a great day. I'm going to keep on working, but I'll keep on listening to you guys.
Appreciate that, bro. Yeah. And, the cool thing about XT is like you can use it on different time frames too. So if you are a day trader, you can use it with stocks, crypto, Forex, precious metals, works with all that stuff as long as it's, there's enough data pulled in from TradingView. But your corp, to answer your question, I could probably get you access to kind of like a basic one. Honestly, it's not like I don't do anything crazy with it. It's basically just asset, average cost in that position, where I want to exit, and what I want to do with those profits. Literally, that's it, bro.
Oh, okay. So my thing's kind of similar to that. I kind of did something like that. I just thought I was missing more information to it. Like, it's how you guys have more details into a lot of coins, into a lot of more into this crypto world. So I was like, okay, I might be missing a lot of more stuff, but okay, I see. If it's just that, then okay. Thank you for letting me know that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and a lot of times, I think the one thing people lack is like, it's one thing to take profits and like have that, set in place, but like, what are you going to do with the profits? Right. And I think that for me is like a big step that I missed back in 2021. I was able to take some profits at good times and things like that. But then I kind of let some of those profits go by like then getting into things without like a real plan, like let me just flip this over here because this hasn't moved yet. And I think, more capital go over here, like being a little bit more strategic with, putting it back into, for me, Bitcoin or Ethereum, at the top is kind of mostly what I'm doing, or putting it into stocks. And then I've created a little fund for getting into real estate too. I don't have a lot of real estate right now. That's kind of one of my goals here after this bull run. So I'm setting aside a lot there to kind of, make some plays once we kind of head into the bear market to really like, diversify out into real estate. That's kind of one of my next big plans and phases. So, but yeah, bro, appreciate all your support too, man. And thanks for the Thanks for the kind words on XT, man. Appreciate that. I'm glad it's helping you.
Anytime. One last thing that I just thought about, and if it's okay, I didn't want to hug the mic, but before I get going, for the sponsorship, does it have to be a company of crypto, or can it be any type of stuff that we do? Could it be any company to be sponsored by you guys, or you guys are just like crypto-wise related stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm trying to make it more aimed toward like crypto companies. Doesn't even have to be a token, but crypto companies and anybody who can benefit from our audience. So our audience is, based in finance, based in blockchain. So I want to find a way to do it, but also like we're not trying to like gouge people. Like I wanted to make it fair, where it's like people get value out of it. It's like we're showing up here every day. Our audience is growing. How can we like help people and benefit from that? And so my idea of it is like, a month-long sponsor or something like that. And we can have multiple, sponsors on a monthly basis. So that's kind of what I'm trying to build with it. Yeah, if you got anybody you think that might be a good fit, let me know. Let us know.
Yes, I think I do. I think I'll send you then a direct email regarding that. Then okay, I do appreciate. I don't want to take more of your time, but I thank you guys so much. And again, keep on doing what you guys do.
Awesome, bro. Appreciate you. Let's get over to Joe. Joe, what's up, man? Good morning.
Yo, good morning, Zach. How you holding up this morning?
I'm doing good, man. Can't complain.
Hey, we'll take that. Oh, sounds like someone's hot micing.
Can you mute your mic?
Hey, awesome. There we go. Quick friendly reminder, everybody, if you could retweet the room, like Zach was just talking about, they do provide a lot of value for like companies, businesses, as well as everybody listening in. So appreciate you guys for listening as well. Wouldn't be anything without you guys tuning in. In my opinion, just to address the title of the day, I think we're probably going to be eating some red candles here for a couple more months in the Breakfast Club. Probably going to be crab walking a little bit. We'll see a lot of volatility, but then at some point we'll see some switch flip whenever the thems of the world, the higher ups, whenever they decide to flip, we'll see things turn green. So it's a great time to be building, accumulating, whatever your thing is. Now's the time to be getting everything in order. So that's what I got there on the market. Just my opinion. We'll see what happens. Not financial advice. I'm also not a CFA, but I heard you guys talking about taxes. Always pay your taxes. That's how they got Al Capone. I'll start off with that. And any taxable event, again, not a financial advisor or anything like that. But if you guys Google, search or look around, Coinbase has some good stuff. Anytime you convert or sell one crypto for another, that's determined as a taxable event. And something that I just want to throw out real quick, taxes aren't necessarily bad, at least in the US. I know they get so much hate. But a lot of really powerful people and smart people use taxes, as a way to game the system. If you're investing and you lose money, you can actually write that off in a lot of cases on your taxes. So there's a lot of ways that you can play the system, both ends, to do a lot of things. So just always pay your taxes. And, they aren't necessarily bad. You can play the game either way. I use Coinly and it makes taxes really easy. Just throwing that out there. But again, not financial advice, not a certified financial advisor either.
Yeah, Joe, good stuff. Actually, you sparked something in my head. So I want to give you guys kind of the breakdown of how I do things. Now, this is a little interesting. And Joe, I want to come back to you with a market question too. Don't let me forget about that. And I see other hands up. We're going to get to everybody. But I'll give you guys the breakdown. Now, keep in mind, I run a business and I also, so my business gets taxed. I have to file taxes for my business, but I also file taxes for me as an individual. So here's how I do it based on what my CPA has told me. Again, not financial advice. This is just how I've been advised. When I'm trading, all of that is taxed through me as an individual. Everything else, so like, my YouTube ad revenue, if I, affiliate marketing, promotional marketing, all of this is taxed through my business. All of my DeFi trading is taxed through my personal account. Now, I have somebody who handles all my DeFi trading separately, creates all these spreadsheets for me. They go through things manually. If you guys are interested, I can tell you the company that I use. I've been using them for 3+ years. It's actually my business manager who started the company. Be happy to share that information with you guys if you're interested. So they handle all my DeFi trading, and then that big spreadsheet. Actually, it's like kind of a print off. Now there's multiple spreadsheets. So if I ever knock on wood, if they come knocking, I can hand them a huge spreadsheet and be like, here you go, have fun. Here's everything. But then the one page, from all the spreadsheet, the one pager goes then to my CPA, who has all my other stuff through like Coinbase and all that stuff that's like traditional revenue. And then that's all compiled. I also have a bookkeeper who just kind of handles all my business transactions. Luckily, in like Web3, I don't have a lot of overhead. I'm not like selling a ton of like products and things like that. But that's kind of the dynamics of how I do it. Hopefully that makes sense, and maybe it helps you if you're in a similar situation. Now, coming back to the market, what do you think, Joe? And maybe I'll pose this to everybody. What do you think is going to be the breaking point for retail to come back into crypto? Like, what do we need to see? And maybe it's more than one thing in order for this retail demand to meet the institutional demand that's really been here for a little while since the ETFs. What do you think?
I think it's going to be a lot of things, but really just people talking about the market in general. The more people hear about the crypto space, the more likely they are to get involved. So something that I feel really good about where we're at in the market is all this insane volatility. Volatility is great. That brings in more traders. That brings in more eyes. More eyes brings in more people. More people brings in more volume. More volume brings in more people. It's like a positive feedback loop that just sort of keeps going. So I think just time. That's going to be the biggest thing. And then right now I've started to see some negative sentiment from like CNBC. They put out some random articles, like hate pieces on crypto, even though they were really just doing pieces on scams and had nothing to do with crypto. But I think when I see stuff like that, that makes me bullish on the market because it just means crypto is getting more attention in general. So whenever the media, whenever people decide to really start bringing it into everyday talk, whenever we're talking about the dinner table, stuff like that, that's when I think we'll really start seeing it. Or this election season. November could be it, baby. That's my other go-to. Or anytime after, if a World War III announcement gets made, whenever they want to start calling something that or start calling something a recession, then I think we'll see max pain sometime shortly thereafter. And then I think people will realize, crypto and Bitcoin's actually a safe haven for a lot of these volatile geopolitical events. So it could be any number of things, but really time, it's inevitable in my opinion.
That's good stuff. Appreciate that. Let's get up to Barkoshi hasn't spoke yet, and we'll get to Mar and then Andrew. I see your hand up too. So Barkoshi, Mar, Andrew, appreciate you guys joining us too. What's up, Barkoshi?
Yeah, hey guys. I just wanted to come up and talk about the taxes. So it's very complicated because the government doesn't want to clarify anything. Our tax system in the U.S. is overcomplicated, and it does not match well with Web3, and that's what they're finding out. For example, they keep going back and forth on what is an asset and what is a security. So if they deem it a security, you would pay capital gains tax. So anything they deem securities, if you hold under a year, it's taxed at like 40%, I think it is. And then it's much lower if you hold that security for over a year. So if they don't deem it a security, then how do we tax it? For example, Wolf Tools, my tokens is actually a product. So there should be more a sales tax, I would argue, there more than anything. And that's what they're trying to get from you from these swaps. But then it goes to, well, if I'm swapping a product for a product, how are you going to tax that? Because now that's just a barter system. So it's very complicated right now. And with them not giving any regulatory clearance on it, I pay on my way out. I only pay if I make money from it, because then I put it in my income bracket. Other than that, I don't. And I say this on a recorded space because I'm confident in my knowledge of the laws. If I get audited, I'll sit there and argue with the IRS, and I will probably be found okay. Just because in my experience, just for everybody that knows, I do have an accounting degree. I was a licensed CPA for a while. So I've been pulled in these rooms and ran down these questions. And as long as you can fight or argue the law on how it's written, they will go with you. And that is probably why KDX hasn't really got any problems from the IRS, because, they don't know which angle to attack it from. And the moment that they do, it sets precedents. So from what I would say is do what Zach suggests when you talk to your CPAs, talk about MetaMask. And to be honest, it sounds like what they do is they look through his transactions and try to classify it. Okay, is it a security? It'll be capital gains. Did he make money? That's to me what it sounds like they're doing. So I would definitely find someone that's like that. So that's all I wanted to come up and say, guys. Thank you.
The other thing too, Barkoshi, appreciate that. The other thing too is there are situations where you get write-offs. So, and I made it very clear to look at these sort of things: token taxes, gas fees. These are write-offs. So, I mean, when you're trading heavily, those things add up. So I've got that, being accounted for because why not? I mean, those are fees. Those are write-offs. The other thing, Barkoshi, and you would probably be able to speak to this too, because there's no like this one size fits all, everybody do it this way. You do it one way and you just make sure you're consistent. And that way, if something does come up, you can show them that, hey, this is how I've consistently done it. There's no blueprint here, but this is how we do it. And we can explain, over time for multiple years, this is how we've done it. And this is how we get to these numbers, right? And it's like, if you could do that, I think you're light years ahead above a lot of people in that regard, if something were like, to come up. And that's again, to me, just, logistically.
Yeah, 100%. That goes back to that's building your case for your argument if you get audited. So you could say, look, it's not like I changed my mind every other year and did it a different way. This is what I believed it to be. This is what I constantly believe it to be. And this is what I still believe it to be. It is your job as the government to prove me wrong now. And so that just builds your case much better.
Yeah, wouldn't it be so nice to have like a strict guideline and guardrail in place? It's like, oh, this is how you do it. It'd be great. But
no, that'd be too easy.
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
But I do want to say this, Zach.
Yeah, man.
We got some new speakers up here. If you come up, please follow the host, the co-host, the speakers, and retweet the space, please. We'll give you all this alpha and knowledge daily. The least you can do is retweet it. Thank you.
Yeah, 100%. We've got a great audience right now over on X and YouTube too. So shout out to everybody listening over there. If you guys could retweet, if you're listening to the live stream on X, if you're on YouTube, smash the like button. You guys know what to do there. Push us up in the old algorithm. Appreciate everybody rocking with us here this morning. Coming up on hour number 1. And let's get over to Mar. Mar, what's up, man? Good morning.
What's up, Zach? What's up, Zach? And Pate, wherever he's at. Oh, I heard he's on a train. Hope everyone is doing great. Good morning to everyone. I'm doing great myself, man. When it comes to, it's going to be 3 things today on this flight. It's when it comes to taxes, man, I'm going to be honest with you. Listen, you guys, you've heard of the SBA loans. Now, this has nothing to do with IRS, but people that got SBA loans, like around 150K, like the government is not even going to go after them. Are they? Maybe 6-7 years from now. They don't even have, the department is not even big enough. They just can't handle it. The SBA cannot handle it. And by the time they're going to go after them, there's probably laws that they could get away with that loan. Those are the loans that we got from COVID. Same shit it's happening now with the IRS and crypto. They just, first, they don't understand it. Second, the department don't even have time for that. They don't even have the manpower. They don't. And if Trump comes out, it's going to be even worse for them. What about change of owners of assets in Web3? Who are they to say this wallet belongs to who? You could have passed these assets to someone else in another country. That's how crazy the taxes is for decentralized. They just cannot get it. And if you're trading in decentralized, I believe you're good. It's not an advice. You do whatever you want to do, but you are good. Especially if you came in with like $1,000, $2,000, and all of a sudden your portfolio is worth $100,000, and you have it in hardware wallets. These guys, they don't have the manpower. They don't have the time to come after. You're not even a fish at all. Now, they will get you when you cash out. If you cash out $1 million, they will come and get you. They'll say, okay, and you better pay the taxes for this $1 million or $100,000. They're probably going to be able to back up and say, oh my God, you bought all this, you traded all this. But no way they have the time for this. They'll be happy taking that 20, 40%, 37% tax on the $1 million, Now, if you've been trading constantly only on exchanges like Coinbase or Robinhood, there you better pay your fucking taxes. But if you're in decentralized, there's no way. Even these Chinese exchanges, even Crypto.com and a few other U.S. exchanges got in trouble because they were not sending everything to the IRS. And I just think it's a real big headache for them. I truly believe, my strong opinion, if you're trading in decentralized and you're paying taxes, I don't know. I think you'll be okay if you're not. I mean, that's just my opinion. It's just, especially if you're trading like nothing, 50, 100, 200, $300. Like, come on. The IRS is not going to come out. They will waste so much. It will cost them so much money to come after small fishes that they'll go out of business. The IRS will go out of business. I've posted a few times on X about taxes. I think taxes is the biggest scam in the world. It's bigger than any scam. All the scams, you put all the scams put together. And I think it's just a huge fucking scam. The way I could see they could tax crypto, it's just a flat rate just to make it easy on them. They're probably going to end up doing that. Another thing is, you shouldn't tax. I mean, this will be a beautiful world. You shouldn't tax when you swap from asset to assets. I think you should only be taxed if you cash out or you sell for a stable coin, But other than that, you shouldn't be taxed if you trade, an asset for a different asset. But then again, that will be a beautiful world, and I don't expect that. But yeah, man, when it comes to taxes and decentralized, forget it, man. They're like, you got to be playing with millions and millions of dollars. And the one thing is, even if you do have a nice size bag and you haven't paid your taxes, just be careful cashing out. Even if you cash out $10, just be careful. Because that it's I think Zach said that they could backtrack. So just be careful with cashing out. And like I said, man, it's so hard. Like, you could move your assets to another wallet and you could say, oh no, like someone could come, why are you doing this to my money? Someone gave me this crypto, because it's decentralized. There's no name, there's no social, there's nothing, so it's really, really tricky, man. Super tricky. A second thing I want to talk about, it's a little bit of alpha there. I put it on the I thought I put it on the nets, but no. On the comment section, then I put a blockchain. I've been in this blockchain for over 2 years. I actually bought some more this week. It's called the Own It Protocol. It's ranked like number 490, and basically it's a green energy, and they're going to be doing the ORWA stuff, and it's a unique chain, man. It's sitting at a $50 million market cap, and what makes it special is just it's not similar to COSPA, but it's not a fork. This thing has been built from the ground up. And if you guys don't understand what a fork is, I don't either. But so you can know, a fork is basically what I call a copy and paste. Now there are hard forks. I don't want to name what chain is a hard fork from Ethereum, but that's a little more complicated. But it's still a fork. This chain is built from the ground up. It's not a fork. And that shows right there commitment from the team, and that's why COSPA is so big, because COSPA was built from the ground up. It's not a fork from Bitcoin, Ethereum, IVAX, whatever. It's a true build, and they took their time, their years. Our true blockchain takes anywhere from 4 to 7 years to build. And this thing has taken already, I think, like 4.5 years. I think COSPA took like 6 years to build. Not a fucking copy and paste, and anybody could do that. We could build a blockchain. So it's something that I'm heavily invested on. I truly believe this chain could, not financial advice, could hit the billions, and they got big time guys behind it, especially in Wall Street. They got big Wall Street guys behind this blockchain. Take a look at it. I know it's not a $1 million market cap like people want, but I truly believe this easily a 100x in the bull market, or in the next 2 bull markets, whatever. Not financial advice. And I've been, last thing, Zach, before I land this plane, man, I've been into a few spaces already, and I'm starting to get the energy of people not convinced with Bitcoin hitting 100K in the cycle. They truly feel, it might touch the 40s, the low 40s, and then it's going to struggle due to also, the big institutions manipulating the fuck out of it. They think that 100K, it's a big number. And there's also people truly think that this bull market it's going to hit hard, and the end of it right after elections. And then we're going to start working on regulations for crypto and the whole dilemma. And they truly think that that's the start of a soft, not a hard, but a soft bear market coming up. So basically, they think that the bull market will be over right after elections, and Bitcoin would touch 90K, the highest. I don't know what's your thought on that, but there's been a lot of conversations about it. They just see the market struggling, man, and people, are struggling. That's the market, the people, But yeah, that's not my take, but what I've been hearing a lot. I still do think if we hit a bull market we'll start in October, we might end until February. But remember, guys, that just because a bear market starts, let's say this November or December, you won't know you're in a bear market until probably March or April of next year, But people are starting to get that, that energy of, and if you look at crypto, we have been going up since November of 2022.
Appreciate that, Mar. Let's get over to Andrew, and then Joe looks like he wants to respond. Actually, I see Clutch down there too. Let's get to Andrew, Clutch, and then Joe.
Man, Zach, with Mar saying people are saying Bitcoin's not going to hit 100K this cycle, I might need a few minutes. I'm actually in the process of putting everything I own on the Facebook Marketplace. This might be the bottom. I got a stove here, a microwave, an air fryer. If you guys are in the market for those things, hit my DMs. I've never heard anything more bullish than crypto Twitter saying that we're not going to hit 100K this cycle. That's amazing. But to really hit what we were talking about there, man, what I think, and Joe really summed it up well, I think earlier before, when I first had my hand up before, he was saying it already, but I think it's the TA always lines up with the FA. The technical analysis always lines up with the fundamental analysis, right? So like what I think we're waiting for is the election, and like I said it earlier, like we're gonna have presidential candidates debating and trying to sell us a dream about why they are better for Bitcoin, and then this is going to have a ripple effect on global elections. So like, I really think that's what's going to trigger the mainstream of coming in, the retail coming in, because now it's going to be like, okay, like we just can't contain it anymore, right? And so like now we got to allow it to go up. We'll use them as extra liquidity eventually, but like now we really got to start the bull market. That, or like Joe said too, World War III breaks out, like officially breaks out, U.S. enters the war, whatever happens, and everything goes damn near to zero. But I do think macro, that's actually bullish for Bitcoin, because then the world realizes, oh, as all these other markets are going down, we can see crypto, and particularly Bitcoin, as a refuge for panic and avoiding real world stuff going to zero. So man, everything feels bullish still to me, man. Like we just gotta zoom out. Everybody expected September to be bearish to begin with. So like, hey, that's why I think it's gonna be bullish. When everybody thinks something is too much common knowledge, so we just gotta bring max pain over possible. So it's still bullish, guys. You don't have to buy the exact bottom. Just deploy some capital the whole way down. Not the whole way down, but like the DCA in and take profits on the way up.
With you, brother. Yeah, it's interesting because one thing we know is like the markets don't like uncertainty, and there's a lot of uncertainty right now, and I think that's really, I mean, if we want to narrow it down and just kind of look at it holistically, there's uncertainty with the Fed, right, and interest rates. There's uncertainty with inflation. There's uncertainty in the housing market. There's uncertainty in the world from a macro standpoint with wars going on and tensions rising. There's uncertainty with who the next president is going to be, right? So like, if there's anything we've learned, and this is traditional and non-traditional markets, the markets do not like uncertainty. They do not like when, things are weird. And things are weird right now on a lot of different fronts, right? So I think once we get some clarity on some of these bigger issues, I think that's when we can really start to see the market respond to whatever that is, to whatever that certainty becomes. But Clutch, I want to get you in here and then back up to Joe. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, man? I don't know what spaces Mars is going to where they're so bearish, but I wish we would have been in those spaces 3 weeks ago, right? Like, don't give me the bearishness once like my bags are already down. I'm just here to teach you guys two things. One, don't forget to bill yourself some R&D hours. My goodness, I don't care how much I've made. I have spent more time that is billable to my own accountant who runs all my things. But anyways, that's a huge thing that most people don't ever know how to really get down right. And I will tell you this, I've made a good amount, but there's no chance that I've made more than the hours that I spent in, on this crypto stuff since 2019. So good luck, IRS. Trying to follow people like me that just absolutely bill you for every little thing. There's no chance you're getting away from talking to me in crypto and me not sending you an invoice. Zach, I just shot you the invoice. Let them know you paid that in full, $1.6 million for the last 30 seconds of my take.
Let's go, bro. Zach, go ahead, man. You got something?
I was just saying that's awesome. I'm billing everyone. Yeah, I'm sending bills to everyone. $10 million.
I love it, bro. Losses. That's funny. Joe, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of an old hand at this point. I think the last few people summed everything up perfectly. Zach, I think you said it. Uncertainty is definitely what's causing the market to kind of crab walk like this. Once we get some answers, I think that's the root of what we're getting at. Once we get some answers for anything, literally anything, I think almost any news will be good news for the markets. And hearing people are getting bearish on Twitter, that makes me so bullish. honestly, I couldn't agree more. Like, I think we need some more Max Payne. I've been talking about that a little bit on the show. Whenever we see Max Payne, whenever people are crying, the bear market's over, this is the end, that's when I think we'll see things turn around. If you look at the 1 year on Bitcoin, in my opinion, it looks like it's been a downtrend since about March. We've seen nothing but lower lows and lower highs since about March. So, we'll just keep hanging in here, keep building. This is, just money. This is gold. I'm selling my kidney. What else I got that I can sell? I'm posting on Craigslist, all these sketchy ads. I'm trying to figure out how I can make some money. I'm just playing. But for real, I think this is a great opportunity to accumulate. And whenever we get some answers, we'll see things really start to turn around.
Appreciate that, bro. Yeah, let's get down to KDX.
Yo, guys. Yeah, I agree with the short-term market sentiment. What's going to drive this up is, just more retail coming in. What could drive it down is World War III. Yes, I agree with all that. I just wanted to hit on a quick point on what's going to, long-term, what's going to really drive crypto is, I don't want to get too conspiracy theorist with it, is people realizing that fiat is actually shitcoin. Like, if you think about the Federal Reserve as the dev, it could print an unlimited supply. It could dump on all of its followers through taxes. It could do literally everything that a scam dev on a blockchain could do. Another point to that is, people in this world have failed currencies. Like, do you think a Zimbabwean dollar is really, people want that nowadays? They're going to want Bitcoin, or they're going to want some type of crypto, because one Bitcoin is equal one Bitcoin in USA. One Bitcoin in USA is equal one Bitcoin in Europe. It's the way the world thinks about crypto needs to change completely, and then we could really have the golden bull market. That's my take.
I just to jump on that real quick, like, this is some old lore, some old crypto, meta from a few years ago. People used to compare everything in sats, or like measure everything in sats. It wasn't even in US dollars that we even talked about. Like, we didn't, look at things and how much US dollars is. It was like, how many sats is this? Because people at that time, the overall sentiment in crypto was, this is hard money. Bitcoin is hard money and fiat is soft money. Like, similar to what you're saying, it's fake. So I wonder if and when that time will come back. Is it 4 years from now, 8 years from now? But I bet you will slowly see that rotation occur again with, if the US dollar gets devalued, or just in general, when people recognize the potential for Bitcoin.
Yeah, all the old Bitcoiners definitely used to think in that way. And that, to be honest, that way needs to come back, because, that's really what it was all founded upon, correct? The thing that kind of messed it up, in my opinion, is the shitty DeFi scams, the shitty CEX scams that were running around, and then I hate to burst everyone's bubbles here, but the meme coin kind of craze kind of fucked everything up too. As far as the ideology goes for crypto, if we get that ideology back, the sky's the limit. Only 6% of the entire world is invested in crypto right now. So we have a lot of work to do.
100%. And we're going to let the government do that work for us.
Yeah, that's the easy route. And then we just avoid their taxes.
That's it. Fiat is the biggest rug pull ever.
It's just made up. So switching gears a little bit, some of the top news last 24 hours. FBI warns that North Korean hackers, I don't know if you guys saw this, are targeting Web3 employees, and specifically maybe going after and trying to hack the ETFs. So definitely some FUD there. Obviously, maybe that, stirs the pot a little bit. The SEC charged and settled with Galois Global, or Galois Capital rather, over custody rule violations. Ripple planning to add smart contracts to the XRP ledger. And then also they came out with some news that their stablecoin is not months away, but weeks away. They're Brad Garlinghouse and company and a bunch of people out there for South Korea blockchain week going on right now. So there's going to maybe be some interesting thing come out of that even further today. So just a couple little tidbits there, just on some on the news front. Nothing like too earth-shattering or groundbreaking right now, but on a lot of levels, it does feel like it's the calm before the storm. And I think I've heard you guys say this a few times, a couple different people. When people start getting really, really nervous, it's like it's a good thing. When people start getting really leery of everything, and you start seeing people exit. I mean, we saw Nvidia get hammered again today as we speak. I don't know if you guys saw up in the nest, but the inverse Kramer back at it again. Kramer, I mean, it's just you can't get any better than that. Nvidia is going to go up. It looks like it could go higher, and then it had its worst day in fucking forever, which is hilarious. But I think it's an opportunity. I've been looking for that Nvidia entry. I know you have been too, Zach, and I think a lot of people think the whole AI crypto sector has already had its pump. I don't think that at all. I think we're in store for a big AI push. We talked about at the top with BitTensor, Tau, and FET, and some of these other big players, Injective, Render. None of these projects have really seen a full-fledged bull cycle. I think the AI, RWA, and DPIN narratives, I think, are going to be big, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities for us. And, Mark, to your point, saying that, we might, have a shortened bull cycle here. My question would be, have we ever seen a bull cycle where retail demand hasn't been there? Has there ever been a cycle where, because even when Bitcoin set its all-time high earlier this year, I mean, retail wasn't really back at all. It was all driven by institutions. I don't know. I haven't been in crypto long enough to know, from just from last cycle I got in 2020. Have we ever had a quote unquote bull cycle without a retail FOMO event? Maybe somebody who's been here longer.
Well, the thing is, Zach, the market cap in crypto has been so low before COVID that anything would make it a bull market. You get what I'm saying? It's any type of liquidity will make it pump really hard. Now we're talking. Now this market is in the trillions, and there's a lot of people that are questioning: have we been in a bull market for over a year already? You get what I'm saying? Because before we were in a $200 billion market cap, any fucking rich guy could pump this space. But now at 2.4 trillion or 2.1 trillion, have we been in a bull market? If meme coin hit a $2 million market cap, it would be news. And now we got meme coins hitting $70, $80 million market caps like nothing. So have we been in a bull market for over a year already? And we're heading now towards our, like I said, these guys are saying we're going to go parabolic. They think November, December, but they don't see Bitcoin probably hitting 100K. And then we're going to slow down. We're going to go into not a bear market like we saw 2 years ago, more of a soft bear market, but we'll know, that it's a bear market. It's not going to be a scary bear market where people are going to sell everything, or people are going to be able to hold their Bitcoin. Yeah, they're going to see it go down, but a lot of people are saying that, in this end of the bull market might not be 100K Bitcoin. I kind of disagree with that. It would be disappointing if we don't see those 6 digits on Bitcoin, but this is all new, territory, ETFs, the government, big institutions getting into crypto. This is all new. I mean, just zoom out and look at the crypto market cap and liquidity before COVID, and look at it now. It is harder to pump it. For us to get the same, I think, what was it, 10, 12x, we will have to hit like $20 trillion market cap in crypto. And I just don't see the retail out there for that. And there's no way institutions are going to get in and pump it for us that big. They're not going to be. But, I could be wrong. These guys could be wrong. I kind of do a more on their side where, yeah, We have been, I truly believe we have been in a bull market. We just haven't felt it like before because we are in the trillions already. I don't know what's your take on that. And I'm not bearish, I'm bullish at the end of the year, but don't be surprised if 2025 is not what we expect and we just start looking more bearish, you know, because of also regulations coming in, you know. Also regulations are going to scare the hell out of people. Regulations are going to come in. It doesn't matter how good Trump is going to, he's with crypto, he's going to have to regulate it. A lot of people are probably not going to like the regulations, you know. We're in a point right now. I think that, let me see if I make sense on this. I think crypto is in the teenage years right now. And you know how teenagers behave. You know, I think we're in the teenage year where we're getting ready to, you know, to become an adult, you know, and it's gonna be we're super early. That's why we're super early, but it's just strange, man. It's hard to call it. Who the fuck knows? Maybe 2025 will be fucking parabolic. I hope, you know, that these guys are wrong, but it's hard, man. It's hard to tell, you know.
I agree with you, Mar, 100%. On actually everything you said. I think, you know, moving forward through the years, 5-10 years, I don't think we're going to see bull markets. I think things will flatten out, even out. We won't see bear markets. Mass adoption will come on. Government's talking about crypto, but we're also still early. So, you know, if you hold 10, 15 years from now, Bitcoin will be $1 million a Bitcoin. Now that's, I'm not saying that will happen, but how can it not? I mean, we're only 5% right now adoption. Wait until, you know, really people catch on. Things are going to move in the upward position 100%. It's just patience. Do you have the patience to wait 5-10 years? Right? Not everyone has it, but if you can hold off, I mean, with the ETFs, you know, that changed everything. I don't think we're going to see bear markets like we've seen before because there's other people to buy, you know, institutions. But when it comes to retail, I don't think anyone has any money, honestly. So the election is definitely a huge game changer. Who wins, who doesn't win. But people are broke, honestly. That's why we're not seeing, you know, a huge bull market at the moment. But Bitcoin's still up. I mean, it's still 50 right now. It's 57,495. That is bullish. How can you not be bullish? This could be $4,000, but it's not. Still, $57,000 is really, really bullish in my opinion.
But real quick, but Zach is the only asset in Ethereum. After that, it's all penny stocks. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you. And that's why I said this a couple shows ago. Everything is a fucking shitcoin unless it's Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. Until you get that stamp of approval of an ETF, everything's a shitcoin. I don't really care if you're a top meme or anything. To me, you're a shitcoin until you get that ETF.
So let me draw a parallel here. I love this conversation. I want to get back to Joe, and then we got Larry up here too. I'm sure he's going to have some great insight on this. Real quick, make sure you guys share the room, share the space if you haven't already. Another fantastic conversation going on today. Absolutely love it. But I want to draw a parallel here, you know, to your point, Mar and Zach, and what you're talking about here. Think about the .com era. People made a shit ton of money on companies that no longer exist. It was full speculation mode. But then what happens over time? The internet doesn't go away. Blockchain's not going to go away. It's consolidating into the best of the best. And then you have what we've seen in mergers and acquisitions. Oh, you're cool. You come up with a cute little idea over there. You get swallowed up by a bigger company. And, you know, there you go. And we're just so early, I think, with crypto that we're in that, you know, prolonged .com era where, okay, this new technology is here. It's not going anywhere. There's a lot of stuff just being thrown around. What sticks and what doesn't, nobody really knows. But there's a lot of money to be made in the short term. That's why I think we should all be traders. But then also realizing what's a long-term investment similar to like a 401k. And I think that's Bitcoin and then to some degree Ethereum. They make up 70% of the market. They both have ETFs, you know, to your point, Zach. But I think we're in this weird space. But yeah, we're like, 30% of the market then is literally seeing, you know, what can be thrown at the wall and what sticks. And again, like, it's not to say that, you know, some altcoins don't have staying power. I mean, you look, I mean, all altcoins are not created equal here either, right? Like Chainlink, for example, I think is severely undervalued. given what it does and what it brings to the table, right? You look at Caspa, right, and what it brings to the table. It's very different than some meme coin that's in the top 100. And there might be meme coins that have staying power. The bottom line is it's full speculation right now, outside of Bitcoin and to some degree Ethereum. But I think it's just part of the maturation process. Mara, I agree with you 100%. We're in the teenage years. We're only at 6% adoption. If you look at, I reference this quite a bit, but if you look at how new technologies are adopted over time, there's a great theorist by the name of Everett Rogers, and I'm pulling it up. If you're listening to the live stream, I'll pull it up so you can actually see it. And it's called diffusion of innovations theory. And I love it. It's just a simple representation of how things are adopted over time. So Everett Rogers would say that the first 2.5% of people who adopt a new technology, in this case blockchain, are called innovators, 2.5%. And then the next big phase is 13.5%. That's what's called the early adopters, what he calls the early adopters. We are just entering the early adoption phase. Then you have the early majority, which make up 34%. Then you have the late majority, which makes up another 34%. And then you have what's called the laggards. That's your grandparents when they got on Facebook, when they couldn't resist it anymore. That's the final 16%. That's where we are. Blockchain is the internet 25 years later, and we are literally at the infancy stages. Everything is speculative. Everything is crazy. It's the wild, wild west times 10, and it's fun though. That's what makes this fun. It's what it makes it exciting. And that's why there's so much money to be had, because nobody knows how this is all going to play out. So to land this plane, to Mars' point, take your damn profits, put it back into Bitcoin, and enjoy the fucking ride.
Right. 100%, Zach. You nailed it right in the head right there. We are in the dot-com phase of finance. This will never happen again because it is now worldwide. Does everyone understand that? Worldwide finance.
And so you can understand it. I'm sorry to cut you off real quick. So you can understand it better. That 70% that he's talking about that was left, those are the extra liquidity. Just for you to understand that better.
It's so true. This is why I trade meme coins. You will be my exit liquidity, trust me. And then I'm moving that more into 401k style stuff with the ETFs, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Mass adoption is going to adopt people to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Go look at every commercial, Coinbase, crypto.com, all that stuff. They're pointing you towards Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then from that, they'll get you to the meme coins. But right now, if you're not buying Bitcoin and Ethereum, you're an idiot. Sorry.
Exactly. I mean, we I mentioned this briefly. We haven't even reached that point where we really have like the mergers and acquisitions. Like we just recently had one with FET, right? We had 3 AI companies merged together. I mean, we're going to see a ton of that, right? So you had AGIX, Singularity Net, you had Ocean Protocol, and you had FET itself, right? All come together to form this alliance and come as one. This is going to happen in every sector, I think, in blockchain. And now, then what happens? It consolidates down, and you have these powerhouses, like every area of business, right? It's the Walmart effect. Eventually, you just get swallowed up by the big competitor. You're an online store. Eventually, Amazon just swallows you up, and there you go. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of the natural, I think, progression that we're heading toward. It's just right now, it's that time period where people are just coming out with all these new things and new ideas and seeing what hits and what doesn't, and things might last a day or a week, a month, 3 months, a year. You know what I mean? We just kind of go through the process. But all right, I'll shut up for a minute. Let's go to Joe and then Larry.
Man, I'm loving this conversation. Honestly, this is great stuff. Just picking different people's brains, seeing what everyone's thinking is going to happen. But I did want to talk about, I think a major difference between this cycle and a lot of the other cycles is that you have people like Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, and as well as many other CEOs and big corporations now talking about Bitcoin or other key. They're the KOLs of Web 2 essentially, coming out and being bullish on these different things. So I think in terms of public sentiment that we were talking about earlier, that goes a long way. It's like these are the literal KOLs That, different people like my stepdad, will listen to, who's been hating on Bitcoin. When Warren Buffett comes out and says he changes his opinion on Bitcoin, do you know how many people are going to suddenly take it seriously? So I think once we see more of these traditional Web2 KOLs, the CEOs of different banks, etc., keep coming out and talking about Bitcoin and other cryptos as a technology, or that can be beneficial. I think that's when we'll see a lot of things change. And in terms of the adoption rate, I agree that we'll see some sort of adoption scaling similar to past technologies, but this is just a truly different piece of tech. Like, everything is very cyclical, and a lot of the market is run currently, still my opinion, based on like the 4-year cycles and the halving of crypto and stuff like that. And the only time we'll see Bitcoin itself level out or achieve some sort of homeostasis is when all of the other assets stop printing, or they start increasing their value instead of decreasing it, because Bitcoin is a hedge against all these other things that are printing infinitely. So I think it will semi-level out, but the price will, in theory, always keep going up as long as we keep printing other money and, expanding upon all of our other assets. So, not sure what's going to happen in the short term. I'm definitely bullish, though, personally, on 2025. It does look like we've been in a downtrend, like I said before, since March. In my opinion, Bitcoin's been in a downtrend, but we are still up over 100% on the year. And whenever you have these institutions getting into the market, they have to practice just certain market strategies. If they're up 100% on an asset, they have to, cut and take profit and stuff like that. It's just basic stuff that's gotten them to the top of where they're at. So just something to keep in mind. I think we'll see a crazy short term, but I'm still per se bullish on 2025. We have the key KOLs of Web2 talking about us for the first time in a positive light. That's massive.
Love it. Definitely want to bring Larry in here to the conversation. Good morning to you, man.
Hey, how's it going, Zach and everyone else? It's been a busy day today, both in TradFi and FinTech, but the crossovers from TradFi and FinTech kind of have blown me away, just like this cycle right now. Being on the mining side, both for Bitcoin, Caspa, and another, the foundational commodities, I will kind of say something about Bitcoin. So, all of the OTC desks, any Bitcoin that comes out, there's an instant demand for, without large discounts, even with the price action going where it's at right now. And that's both from individuals and institutions and nation states. So, even after the halving and some of the relief that was supposed to come from that, it never did. As I always say, I always equate Bitcoin to like gold and Ethereum like silver. You have a short time ratifier and a long term ratifier. Their scarcity is both there, it's established, and it provides hyper deflationary mechanisms for other commodities, other financial products and vehicles, and continues to do so, especially in the nature of Bitcoin. So, as I always say, if Bitcoin even became, $20,000 or $30,000, the buying pressure would increase. The MicroStrategies of the world, Grayscales, and the BlackRocks continue to buy whatever's available. And then you have the 1,000 other licensed Bitcoin brokerages that represent, I would say, if we want to talk about banks and bundles, this is the banks and the financial institutions of running a version of running a bundle. They have a lot of all these other smaller organizations that can provide them different access and entryways and buying in different localities without any concern. And I will tell you, being a miner, anything we mine is bought up even beforehand, because tranches are promised via escrow, so much to the effect that, even Binance, spent part of that 20 million they put into investment, not just for compliance agents, but for doing sats and providing more flexible ways of moving Satoshi. And a big part of that was providing an escrow and an order book system that was easier to use. And I think that's going to, pave the way for, traditional financial institutions to continue to do what they're doing. I know that all of us in DeFi look at, these 10 to 15% adjustments daily, or 1 to 2% total market volume adjustments as huge. But again, as I always repeat, we just came out of a bear market that was 2 years long, where people just disappeared, projects disappeared, and they did it on fumes. And then here we are now. And there are so many parallels from TradFi to DeFi now. A good example of that is, and I said this before on talks, but I want to remind people, if you don't think the markets are being manipulated to allow the big players, the banks, the people that have ETFs and all these financial products, better entry or an ability to make shorts or hedges on, internal arbitrage on the market, you'd be foolish not to think so. And the FDIC, the Treasury, all the powers that be are not going to let these financial products die because they have to insure them. They're all insured now, and they meet the requirements. Now, the prime example I want to use is the Nisei crash. When the Nisei crashed, DeFi took a 20% dump on average, and other financial sectors took up to 50% in TradFi. But the damage was undone in one day, and the South Korean government, again, had almost like Alpha. They stopped trading right at the right time, and they said, we're going to continue to provide a tax umbrella because it's digital IP instead of a currency itself, the way it's classified. And today I want to bring up two things that happen in traditional finance. So I always talk about how BRICS is using USDT to have the buying power of the dollar, but without giving any leverage or extra, key leverage to the US dollar itself in trading. And also they're weaponizing Bitcoin. A good example of that today was China had already made a statement that they were going to follow in line and develop crypto regulation with the Emirates. And today, Russia and China announced that they are planning on, in the form of BRICS, to provide the prohibition of Bitcoin in China and provide it for international trading and commerce. And Brazil wants to join BRICS wholeheartedly instead of just being a temporary or a strategic partner. They want to be embedded in BRICS permanently. Saudi Arabia and Qatar had made crypto illegal since 2018, and now they're gonna try to compete with the Emirates. And all of them are. I said this 3 months ago, and people thought I was crazy. I said the Emirates is going to have a USDT peg tether. Qatar is going to follow suit, and Brazil did so. And all of this is in lieu of the BRICS trying to provide another, both digital and both conglomerated currency to leverage against the dollar to be the number one trading currency, right? Again, and then we look at today in traditional TradFi. So I'm Korean American. Many of you know that. I would have never thought in my life that I would see Samsung make an announcement that they will work with Sony on both their blockchain, their crypto VC office, and movie development. Now, I would have never thought in a million years. That's why I'm telling you, just like in DeFi, you see Metaverse and Sandbox coming together, you see APU with all these other NFT houses. It's amazing how this is paralleled into TradFi. When they made that announcement, I was flabbergasted. I was shocked. And all of the news of XRP. So, we really haven't hit the bull run. This is just a corrective session to kind of, let people's feet get warm, like they're in the kiddie pool. So TradFi is in the kiddie pool right now. They're not in the deep end of the pool yet. And now, and today, I got onboarded as the permanent chief strategy, the chief security officer at Metatrust. And I have a huge more amount of stack of work on my desk for compliance for all of these normie institutions. I can't talk about them now, but today when I got into our our digital meeting, we're based out of Singapore, but I'm Korean, so I have all of this business from Korean Blockchain Week for compliance security now from TradFi. So it's an exciting time. So I just wanted to bring up all of these impossible strategic partnerships, impossible nation states coming together, but what's the common denominator? DeFi and science and technology from DeFi. The the inflationary or the hyper deflationary mechanism that belongs in DeFi is going to be the checks and balances. And it's like I said, it's going anywhere from nation states and then big business and pharma. I will be releasing some alpha on something that's happening on pharma. But we look at the state of California, the California Department of Licensing put all of their licensing, all that data on a blockchain. It's just, I wouldn't even fathom that. I know they are kind of a more, blue state, but it's a huge use case towards both traditional data as well as, financial products. And I'm going to make an announcement on pharma once I get the permission to do so. We're working on a huge project on pharma, but yeah, now, because all of us here have a huge strategic advantage over what we call normies. I just call them new liquidity, right? But we have a huge advantage, right? Hard hands always right. I'm not giving anyone financial advice, but whatever you're into, whatever you're diversified into, be it memes or utility or whatever, if you hold and you just get creative, I think you're going to have a leg up. So I'll end with that, Zach. And then Zach made a lot of these announcements earlier too. I just want to give a little bit more context and background on them, but it's a great day to be in the space, actually, regardless of the charts, so.
Appreciate that, Larry. And honestly, man, just want to say you're so knowledgeable, man. You add so much to the conversation here. So really, really do appreciate it. And, just the context, your experience. So glad we ran into each other in that space the other day and you decided to come back. I mean, the CASPA space was great. Looking forward to getting out to Singapore too. I've never been to that part of the world. So super excited to get out there for Token 2049 for sure.
Yeah, I owe you some chili crab, man, and a mojito, man. We're gonna have some Singapore Malaysian chili crab, man. It's you haven't lived until you try it. So I look forward to meeting up with you, man, and making the rounds with you, and maybe you can come to our AI lab. We have one of the top 3 AI labs in the world at Nanyang University. If we can, if you have time, wouldn't that be some alpha to get you on video in the Nanyang lab with our CEO and myself, the chief strategic security officer? I think that'd be a great opportunity to kind of let people, kind of see how it really is, and that there's things beyond just a chart or what we see on memes, and which I love. It's the colorful part of the media, right, and what we live for, but. And mining and everything else, man. I'm just happy, Zach, that we got to reconnect. It's, I used to run into you and your pop in Austin all the time when I was doing working for Certic. But, even after 4 years, man, we're here grinding it on. And I just really appreciate being able to talk with you, work with you, break bread with you, and then all of these wonderful people here from all walks and all ends of the space.
Likewise, man. Yeah, can't wait to meet up there for sure. Let's get down to, I think Free Trump got his hand up there. What's going on, man?
Hey, good morning. I got in here late, and I've been really busy in real life lately, so I've not been too active. But it's amazing. Every time I come in, or if I just catch a glimpse of the conversation of what's happening here, I'm just blown away. I mean, the people that are in crypto, probably arguably some of the smartest people around. Just because they can see the trending, where it's going. I mean, crypto's here to stay, hearing stuff like that. We're still in the beginning stages. I mean, everybody sounds like they agree on pretty much everything that's being said. And and I'm just giving people kudos. Everybody that I heard speak in the last, 3 months you've been doing this now? It's been great. But I wanted to zoom out a little bit and mention something a little more macro. And maybe this was mentioned earlier today. I'm not sure because I just came in here late. But everybody seen that Warren Buffett sold $6.2 billion worth of Bank of America stocks last week. And I mentioned on other spaces where's that money going to go? At the rate the dollar is losing its value, it's not going to go in his back pocket because that doesn't make any sense for a lifelong investor. So where's he going to put that money? Where does it make sense? Well, the real estate market is really inflated right now where I'm at. So I'm assuming it's super inflated everywhere else. Cars, forget it. Those are the worst investment on earth. Necessities, yes, it's a good investment, but they're still high because Wall Street, the stock market, is like at its all-time high. Look at the Dow Jones. I mean, that thing is crazy. So if I was to cash out stocks, basically it looks like he's saying that the banks are ready to crash. What market makes the most sense? And as crypto being as down as it is right now, because Bitcoin's back down like 58,000, this market is primed, ready, and ripe to rip. And I'm 100% convinced he's going to put that money into crypto. Nothing else makes sense. If you look at what there is out there to invest, transportation, no way, man. Fuel costs, it's too high. It wouldn't make any sense for him to put his money anywhere else at this moment in time but crypto. And I'm going to end on that, but that's only my opinion. It's just what I'm seeing because I've been around for a while. And usually, you know, these things kind of, when they make sense, they make sense.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that sentiment. And, you know, one of the statements that Warren Buffett made to what you're saying is, you remember he made that announcement that if the U.S. government took 1/3 of the taxes that they were willing to pay, that it could give everyone $2,000 or $3,000, every household in the U.S. $2,000 to $3,000 of stimulus, and they would still have enough taxes or revenue left from the tax collections from Berkshire Hathaway to still take care of the actual, you know, I guess the infrastructure needs of the taxation. So I think that that's a pretty good guess that diversification might happen because the kind of positions and the things that he's said as of late, and I'm not an oracle, do your own research, it's not financial advice, but I think that you're onto something, and it's just really good to kind of macro in on some of those passing statements, you know. And I like how Zach mentioned that book, so I want to mention a book. If you want to have an analogy, I think this book will entertain you and enlighten you, but also give you like a parallel for how the crypto market as a whole is right now. It's a book called Confederacy of Dunces. And if you're familiar with it, hats off to you, but if you're not, you should read it. So sorry about cutting in there, but I just I thought it was valuable what you said, Free. So
Mutasco's got his hand up here. We're about 8 minutes away from closing out the space. Another fantastic conversation here today, guys. It's been just a ton of fun, great insights, great people coming in here every single day. So really appreciate that. And shout out again to all the people listening live on YouTube and X. Real quick before we get up to Mutasco, Zach, it looks like we've got some merch nowadays, huh? Crypto Breakfast Club merch?
Yeah, I'm just doing the Rosebot for our Telegram. Please go over there, join the Telegram even after the space. We keep the conversation going, but yeah, Shelby's working on the merch store, so I'm putting the tag in right now for it. Epic.
Very awesome. Very awesome. So if you want to rock our Crypto Breakfast Club logo that you can see here as Shelby's up here as a speaker, our CBC logo there, make sure you guys follow the X account for it. And also hop into our Telegram there. It's a totally free Telegram where we're always just talking about crypto and alpha. And we're really growing something cool here. It's always fun, like building something new, you know, and I was kind of waiting for kind of this moment. And when X Space is starting to really grow, and it always just kind of rejuvenates me, right? So it's like something new to really look forward to and start to grow. So it's been awesome to kind of watch this thing unfold. For what, about 3-4 months now, Zach? I think we've been doing this every single day, every Monday through Friday.
Yep. Yes. Yeah. No, it's great. I mean, this is what you got to do to survive. Also in this market, come in great alpha. We deliver as much as we can, knowledge. Some people will charge you so much money, but the best part is the community around this. And we're building something epic here. Yeah, 3 or 4 months. There's a lot of smart people in here. Just keep coming back. You learn something new every day. Even if you learn one thing, it's better than wasting your time on other shows that is just bro. At least, gain some knowledge.
100%. And we got Mutasco back up here. Real quick, I'll go to Shelby because I think it might be something about the merch store, and then we'll get to Mutasco.
Yeah. As you guys were talking this morning, I was looking into some different companies. So check it out. It's on Bonfire. So it is, you buy it, it ships directly to you. I just did the one logo right now, and we'll see how that goes. If you like something or want something custom, specific, just send me a DM.
Love it. All right, let's get up to Mutasco before we close out today's show. And another great one. Mutasco, take us home. Take us home, man.
Hey, Zach. Great space, as always. When I don't hear things, I get very worried. So what I'm going to talk about is the things that we haven't been talking about, which is some of the key bills that have been swimming within the U.S. Congress. And I think it's important to pay attention to this because I think it was in June that an analyst from JP Morgan did an extensive report about this. And they actually made a prediction that we may end up out of all the bills. And I think most of the top ones that we all kind of, because it's all nonsense that Gary has been doing, it's all based on that, right? If FIT 21 goes through, it clarifies a lot of things that we just get bombarded with all these security lawyers that get paid off of taxpayer dollars doing nonsense. And so if FIT 21, and the reason why I'm worried is that even though JP Morgan's prediction may because they're probably close to some of this information. What is funny is that the report came out before Biden dropped out, and the other thing that I think the political confusion that may derail all of this energy could be that we don't know what happens from here. And as we know clearly, I think that the one that they were more focused on was the Clarity for Payment Stablecoins Act, which is a stablecoins bill. And I've looked at the bill. There's a lot of people I follow that have done some really good summary on this. Reading that whole thing, if it goes through in its current state, it will be bad news for a lot of people. And I think if you look at where USDT is in today, they are like at 70% of the entire stablecoin market cap, right? They've progressively increased their dominance and actually the issuance of the stablecoin volumes since a year ago, which is fascinating. But what is also interesting to pay attention to, and I listened to several podcasts with the CEO. He's very, level-headed. He's like calm and does these things. I don't underestimate his capabilities and ability to continue to stay in the market because he's doing a lot of things outside of the U.S. market, and that should be a point of concern for U.S. Big giant companies, because the thing with the stablecoin bill is if you look at the current state of the stablecoin bill, and you look at all of the interpretive letters that were issued by the OCC from 2020 through to 2022, I believe, it had some link there because if you tie the interpretive letters to the sub 121 thing, that rule that made it through Senate but then got vetoed by Biden, you can see where the banks can also get in on this game. So where I'm confused is that while we know that they're craving to see the stablecoin bill go through, it may be a push to kind of, like Jeff Bezos says, your margin is my opportunity. I think everyone is looking at USDT's, the amount of money these guys are making, it's insane. And they're like, we need to get this. And the thing with US market is that there is this powers of principality, right? You have these big banks. Don't underestimate their abilities. They would do everything with their resources to squeeze you out. And I think they're doing that just by how they're collaborating with Jeremy and his team and what they're trying to do. It's very interesting there. But you see, what excites me about all of this is that we're in a world today where someone like me can be in a space talking about the same industry, but would not be like deterred from these big players participating in it because there is something in it for me, right? This is something we cannot ignore because when we talk about centralized control, we talk about centralized products, we talk about tokenization of real world assets. The thing what the crypto and blockchain has done for us is that there's two sectors, right? You have the centralized part, which usually gets concentrated by knocking off a few people and then getting it everything at the top, right? Which is usually not safe for a lot of people. And it created another market, which is DeFi. And so if you're in crypto, I think it's very necessary if you pay attention to the products that are designed to keep DeFi alive. Because if you do well there, no matter how sacked up these big players take up crypto, you still have a place to play, right? And I think Larry made a point about the ETFs and what's going on with the arbitrage. I mean, a lot of people are milking this thing, right? Every time Bitcoin does a move, they're like literally doing backflips because they're not in a bear market. They're actually making money. And the problem is they have access to capital. So they play the game as the market volatility increases. And that's why I shared, Larry, if you saw the screenshot, because if you look at it, it's kind of insane to watch. And this is a clear sign of how powerful Wall Street is, okay? And I think Larry used the word manipulation. If you look at all this, the ETF prices, right? Compare them to the timing of the price dipping and the price of Bitcoin. That is clear manipulation that you can see right there. But this is just looking at a handful of ETFs. What if we go bigger? Or what if the ETFs get consolidated? Then you have one dominant big player that could literally manipulate the entire market. Thank God we have meme coins. Thank God we have altcoins. Thank God we have all these other options to play with. And guess what? They laugh at us on those options. And that's a good thing. Because when you're not getting noticed, you can't be a target. And I think we can all elevate ourselves. Larry, go ahead. You got me really excited when you pointed out.
You brought a point that has gotten me so excited to remember. Okay, first of all, when we talk about USDT, if you watch Whale Watch, you see whole countries' GDPs go by from peer to peer, not a nation to nation, not a bank to bank. And so, it used to be like, so if we go back in the history, they tried to fine USDT to death and litigate USDT to death, but they couldn't, and they got slapped with fines. So then USDT had a triumph, and there's no double jeopardy, right? On one part of that. The second part is we saw a contender that came up, which is like USDC, and I would compare it to the Ethereum or the Coinbase of stables, right? They tried to make a deal with the devil and it didn't work, and we saw them almost depegged because they put too much faith in the powers that be. Not taking anything away from Circle, they're a great group. I love working with those guys when I have, and their dream to make a 1-to-1 on Ethereum was great, and it still continues. A lot of people still use USDC, right? The third part is now. And that's why I don't give anyone financial advice, but I always talk about you should have as many stables as you can, because I compare them to freedom dollars like USDT. It doesn't matter what flavor USDT you pick, but if you go anywhere in the GCC, if you go to like Qatar, if you go to Kuwait, even though it's gray in some areas, but now in Qatar it's legal, they pay a premium on your USDT. If you go anywhere in the Emirates, most places accept USDT as a form of payment, right? And now we have the two main, the foundations of BRICS, China and Russia, making an announcement that they're going to take USDT. And what is the number one fiat on-ramp, off-ramp? Is still USDT, right? So not everything is dark and gloomy like we think, because nation states are adapting huge surpluses of USDT, because anyone that has BTC has USDT. That's just how it is. The Chinese BTC farmers and exchanges made it that way and provided a lot of the leverage. and enter Tron. Yeah, Tron wouldn't exist. TRX wouldn't have existed unless it was one of the main proponents and structural bonds for USDT. Shout out Justin Sun, right? And he comes from the BTC mining and exchange background as well, and Binance, and we can go on, right? So when we talk about USDT, it will be around no matter what, because you will always have a choice. And again, there's many places that used to accept Ethereum over it, over any other, and BTC. But now, if you go into any of the BRICS nations or anywhere in the GCC, they prefer USDT because it has the fast transfer, on-ramping and off-ramping, or off-ramp and on-ramping capabilities. Most banks take it because it is a perpetual press. That's okay, but it's stable. It's not a one-for-one on the dollar, but now it doesn't have to be, because countries are giving it more. They're giving it. It has all the buying power of the dollar without giving the dollar more leverage, and that's why now. I hate to say this, but it's almost a 30 to 70% ratio. So centralized banking is still 70%, but the rest of the banks in the BRICS world are on USDT or Bitcoin. That's just a proven fact. And now we have whole countries like, El Salvador, Brazil, China, Russia, that are going to kind of change. So this is a huge challenge to the US dollar. And so, Mutasco, it's not all bad news. This is, and I hate, people talk so badly about USDT. Yeah, it hasn't had the best. It's had to get kind of dirty to get where it is now. But no matter which way or how you talk about it or whatever, you have to admit, when you need fiat on-ramping and off-ramping, that it's the safest way to get to centralized banking and go back to our decentralized world, even if you're paying taxes or not, right? Because at the end of the dollar, at the end of the day, it ends in a dollar, starts in a dollar. But that's why I'm such a strong proponent for USDT. Is it used for the best uses all the time? No, but the US dollar. I mean, if you take the average US dollar, $100 bill, $20 bill, and you test it for drug residue, it's going to be there, right? We know that, and USDT is kind of similar in that way. There's no perfect solution, right? So before anyone, shoots down USDT or talks bad about it, that is the state of the market, whether you love it or not. So if the bill passes, Mutasco, the other half of the world will not accept. They will not eat shit to accept the policies of one entity, right? So sorry about taking so much time, but I was so excited about what Mutasco was talking about.
No, this is excellent. I appreciate your input, man. These spaces are great, and I think everyone should. I think the good thing too, we're at it. Globally, if you look at inflation, you've got interest rates. It's actually a good thing to put your money in a stable coin, because think about the days of the narrow bank that tried to create the stable whatever currency, and they got knocked out by the Fed. Stable coins literally just did a vampire attack on the US dollar in a way that most people didn't expect. And I think it goes down to the debates that people have had in the past about, okay, how much are these central bank reserves, how much are they earning just to hold these reserves? And I think if you look at rates being up, yeah, they're not as up as they used to be, and they start to go down, but we're not going to go to zero. And if we don't, and you mint out $1 billion stable coin, you have to have dollars pegged to it. And so you earn this yield, like you said about the treasury, because you have that exposure. While if it becomes more competitive, you're not giving a portion of that yield to your holders who are helping you scale. You're not going to have a sustainable business. So it creates a competition for the users, for people around the world that may not necessarily have had the opportunity to expose themselves to some of these yields. And that would create its own products as well. And I'm just excited about it. The bad news gets amplified, but if you deep down and do some research, you're going to be hopeful that we're entering into a great future here with crypto and everything.
Real quick, Matasco and everyone else, let me give you a very practical example. When you go to the bank, any U.S. bank, and you deposit $5,000, they're asking, where did this come from? When you want to withdraw $5,000 or more, they're asking, what do you need it for? And we need to hold your money until it's okay. When you accept a wire transfer for over $2,000 or $3,000, or you try to Zelle or Cash App someone, the bank will freeze or wonder what you're doing with it. They're already making money on the money that you have stored in the bank. They're making their interest. They're telling you when and where, and then they're recording all of the meta. You can't. What happens if you want to buy holiday gifts? If you want to pay your family members' tuition, or you have medical bills, they will hold up your money to the point where you need to find other ways to make money. But now it's almost equilibrium. That 30% is huge, right? We're in more of an international economy now than we've ever thought, and it's very, very refreshing that I can go in the Emirates or in many other countries. I can go to Thailand, El Salvador. I can go to Brazil. I can get out my wallet, my digital wallet, pay in USDT, dollar for dollar, and they accept it as a premium over the US dollar because it's easier to trade on. They don't have restrictions, and they're not taxed on that money. They are taxed locally, but they're not taxed by the banks because you're already paying a service fee. You have all of these terms and conditions. I'm not with all that noise. That's why it's called decentralized finance. And again, if we stick together, no matter what part of the space you're in, and we support, the lesser of the evils, that's because USDT is the lesser of the evils, but the dollar, it's definitely maybe more of the evils. And I'm a red, white, and blue-blooded American. I love America, but I hate the fact that if you go back to what like Andrew Jackson, Dwight D. Eisenhower, John F. Kennedy tried to do and paid with their reputations or their lives, and that you can do your own research on that. It might be arguable to some of you, but it is not. It's our right to have some kind of, financial sovereignty, financial democratization, and a right to expression, because digital assets are exactly that, digital, right? It's not printed. It's not backed on a piece of silver, and then now it's just backed on a print. It costs more to print $1 than $1's worth, and I'll end with that. I appreciate that. Amazing. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's Frendo here. What do you think about off-ramps of different currencies like ETH or even base ETH? I'm a base boy, that's why I'm asking. But it's not about base right now. The reason I'm asking is, do you think it dilutes it if there are too many off-ramps? Do you think that as an ecosystem in total, we should focus on?
I'm kind of different. I'm kind of different, Frendo, than most people. I think the more options we have, the better we have for proliferation and continued, some types of freedom in DeFi. So, we have our base, we have our main foundationals. We have USDT, we have Ethereum, and we have Bitcoin, of course, and we have Caspa. We have a lot of a mixture, right? But at the end of the day, most people will transfer off to USDT or one of the main four, right? But base is great because it's compliant in the US, right? And some days they hold your funds for 7 days, but at least you have the option to still choose, right? I'm not a big fan of that 7-day thing, but I'm also not against it. It's just like when Vitalik decided to go to proof of work and decided to comply to a certain extent when he went to proof of staking from proof of work. That was part of being in compliance, and that's why Ethereum is still around. So we have to give him props for that, right? There's no perfect way to move forward. Ethereum was at its leg and at its core, the true representation of DeFi. Nation states that were not friends of the US were allowed to mine Ethereum, and that was one of the biggest reasons why, not just for all the supposed improvements on gas, but it was Vitalik's way of saying, okay, it has to be bigger than the profit model. It has to be bigger than my opinions. It has to be bigger than the people at ETH Foundation. It had to be continuance, right? It had to be adaptation. And so as much as I hated it as a miner when he went to proof of staking, I also understood why it had to happen. So when I look at Coinbase's, I think any and every, decentralized finance on-ramp, off-ramp option should be your right to financial and to digital sovereignty, firstly. I think that we are already paying taxes in the U.S. for everything. For example, the lotto was supposed to be used for education, at least 50% of it. But like in Washington State, for example, none of it's used for that now. And they still do levies on the property taxes. They charge you a dime on the dollar. In California, if you're a millionaire, then you're 100,000-aire after the CalCare and the 60% total they take out, right? All of those things together are not conducive to high quality of life with inflation. So how do we fight that? We fight that with an alternative, because 90% of us are still paying our taxes. And, then we have something that's hyper deflationary that provides continued value for our RWAs, or it keeps enhancing the value of RWAs. So if we look at that as one aspect, and we look at in DeFi as tokens or the currencies or the commodities themselves as just vehicles for data, then we're not playing checkers anymore. We're playing chess, right? And again, as much as of a burden that we are to the man, they have to listen now. And a validation of that is both Republican and Democratic parties had their hands out for this highly liquid financial product that we call DeFi. They had wallets for almost everything, Solana, Cardano, Ethereum, the Democratic and Republican parties, both of them, they would take anything, Bitcoin, Castle, whatever, or USDT, USDC. And isn't that just like an oxymoron? Aren't they hypocrites for witch hunting USDT and stables, but they're asking for these stables and these commodities during the election year? What kind of hocus pocus bullshit is that? That is the ultimate proof of hypocrisy. If you don't think the markets are being manipulated at the core level, they are willing to accept these monies, even though they want them outlawed or they want them taxed to extinction. And I'll end with that. Thank you, guys.
Wow, dude. Nailed it. Thank you for answering my question. Well done. You got a follow from me, and I'll be reading more about your shit. It's 1 a.m. here. I'm on vacation in Japan. I'm going to slide out, crack a can, take a shower, and hit the hay. Thanks for having me, guys. Later.
Yeah, arigato gozaimasu. Have a good day, man.
Hey. Sayonara.
Great stuff. Mar has had his hand up for a little bit, and then we'll close this one up. Go ahead, Mar.
No, I just want everybody to look at the nest. And this is real, guys. This is not fake. This is real. But other than that, man, great space, man.
Appreciate
that. That's
man.
so cool, Mark. That's cool. I think, I don't, just to end, I don't think you can be bipartisan to know that, leadership is going to be important. So I think making your voice heard is important without making this a political thing. And man, Zach, I really wanted to say I really like the format of your Crypto Breakfast Club. You have really high quality speakers and people from all ends of the space. So I just wanted to tell you, man, you're doing a really good job. I like this format and this structure of content. It gets me excited, even though it's like 11:47 p.m. where I'm at. I'm wide awake, bro. And I just wanted to give you your props, man. You've been in the space for a long time, and man, you got the ism, man. It's really you're really 10 toes down, and this is what a play, and people are well behaved, and man, I can't speak highly enough about the space. I'm so happy to be here with you, bro.
I really appreciate that. It means a lot coming from you too, and honestly, I know I could say this because you guys know where I'm coming from. Selfishly, I love it because I get to sit here and learn from people like yourself and Mutasco and Mar and all these people who just throw out different ideas and different ways of thinking about things. And I love that, just to be able to kind of just be the mediator here and, keep the conversation flowing, interject when I can. But I love it the most when I can just sit back and take it all in. So thank you for joining us. Mutasco, as always, Zach co-hosting. Paid is usually another co-host here. He's traveling on a train somewhere. But everybody else for listening in, much, much appreciated. We will be back tomorrow. Same time, same place, 9:30 a.m. Eastern again. And we'll be live a little bit before then on YouTube and X. And thanks again for everybody coming in here again here today. And we'll have an interesting topic, of course, for you guys tomorrow. So take care. Until then.
Hi. I got some new colors for you. Oh, here we go. So this is the solid wood. That's the fine. That's what they'll look like. Without this mark, of course, but I was going to say exactly this because I'm coming to you like that. Yeah, that's it. It goes 1, 2, 3. This is one coat, 2 coats, 3 coats. And when I say one coat, that's when you spray on the preset. Between 2 and 3. 2 or 3. See that there? Mm-hmm. That's where they go. Now, see, you can tell they're not going to look, the hardwood's going to look a little different. Like these don't look quite identical. But yeah. It's just going to have some plywood, some hardwood. I like too because it's still like you get a little bit more. Yeah, that's kind of what I was. Well, but don't go by the outside too. You can get a better idea. And you do, and it's still dark enough. I feel like too, right? I mean that's just my opinion. It's two just gives you a little bit more grain. Does yeah, and it's still dark enough. You like 3? I mean, I don't mind 2 either. I don't mind 2 either. I'm really gives it a little bit more character. Yeah. Well, it depends on how the light is. That's exactly what. Yeah, because 3 still gives you that. Remember, you're gonna look straight at it. You're not gonna look down on it because it's gonna be. But see, when you look at it like this, you still get it. And believe me, it doesn't matter what the fuck I think because I'm gonna do what you want anyway. I don't really care. How you control this in different ways. Yeah, you still see it. I would probably just go with the dark one. See, you got all that other black going on. That's what I think too. I still think you get character. Let's do 3. Three's cool. Yeah. So how'd you get that color good? How'd you get it that dark? Oh, the clay one. What'd you mix it with? I had to go get the dye stain that goes underneath the stain. Okay. So then I mixed gray and black thing together, give me a charcoal color. Yeah. So I bumped it together, and then I added a little bit of the concentrated black to the gray and the black that I mixed. And then I put some of that on, and then I went a little bit darker with a little bit more of the concentrate, and then I gave. So the concentrate, what that does, that's a dye. That kind of evens it out. Okay. So this has 3 coats of dye on it. And then it's got your stain on top of that. And then it's got the Magnalac. It's got 2 coats of Magnalac satin finish on top of that. Yeah, this has 1 coat of dye, 2 coats of dye, 3 coats of dye. And what the dye is it's a color, and then you mix it with black or thinner. And that way, when you spray it on, it flashes fast and it sucks into the wood. But it evens it all out, flattens out. So then it gives it If you look, now this got a little bit more depth to it than what. See, I know it's a different color because it has red underneath it. But look at the difference.
Yeah.
Look at the difference. That has red. This has black on it. So that was worth the trip up there.
Yeah.
That's what gives you that deeper.
Yeah.
That deeper finish.
They were showing me where I could put lights underneath. What do people usually do there?
Rope lighting.
Just like a rope light, yeah. Okay.
I mean, that would feed right through that little tube.
Yeah.
Like, right through the thing there.
That'd be cool.
And throw a little light down on the face.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sweet.
They were sweeping up the shop and getting everything ready. So they have a little bit more sanding to do. They pulled the doors off, they pulled the door comes off.
Do you think I need to get a couch down there before that bar sits in there? I was wondering how much room.
Well, I thought you were looking at that section.
Yeah. That shouldn't be bad.
You should have the room there. You better figure it, no matter what you bring in, you have to, yeah.
I want you to come help me pick one out and see what. I got some ideas.
All right. Where'd you go?
Value City.
All right.
They have the best deals.
That's what I thought.
And it's good shit.
Both of them white couches at my house. The other ones, well, we want to do that, the couches in the front. Yeah. Those are from Value City. Yeah, Andrew got, was this a Value City or did he go to,
it does look good Value City.
That one down in the basement that we brought from his apartment? Nice. Still nice, because they don't use it, except they go down there in the wintertime. The one in the back, we're not talking. Or if they have people over.
Yeah.
You know.
You want to roll with me after work today? We'll get a bite or something out there too. We'll go look. I'd like to go buy one.
Yeah, maybe a number.
If she wants to come with us too. If Frankie and Avery want to meet us out or something. Okay.
Well, and we had Frankie, Andrew, my baby last week.
I didn't get the invite.
I see what you were doing.
Well, I wanted it. I got to the gym and
We didn't do nothing. We had, he brought leftover ribs. We made chicken Brussels sprouts. And, you know, those chunked up like sweet potatoes you just cook them in the oven.
you know what I had? Good. You ever go to Mission Barbecue?
Never been there. Me either.
It's pretty good. I got their brisket. It's unbelievable.
Oh,
Brisket,
yeah.
I mean, just a good southern.
There's one out there.
There's one out there too. They probably got one out here too.
Yeah, they did.
It's good. They
My dad got once.
it's pretty good. Got good green beans, piece of cornbread.
You would love that barbecue place at Seneca. Tina's not into that too much. But we went to Clinton, Georgia for the first time. It was fucking awesome. I even like going to that one over here in Austin town. That barbecue place.
Yeah, very good. Yeah,
Very diggable.
yeah. I've had their brisket. I think Mission Barbecue's better.
Really?
And it's not a fancy place, but it's good.
Oh no, it's pricey either. Very diggable. A lot of money with that. Yeah. We made a lot of money. Put in heart money. You know, there's that game where you gotta fucking pay out all you take in. Mm-hmm. Did you see, I mean, I don't know if you were around then. Were you around when they were doing that Queen of Hearts?
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember the lives they had? Well, I wasn't here, but I was off and on, and my dad kept telling me about it. And then when I was in town, it was going on for months. Remember? The lives were. We had a party on the other side of the street outside. And then there's just two young girls at this table throwing fucking cash into this fucking 5-gallon bucket. Cash.
And they haven't done it